Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of visual, audio, and musical things that I pull out of the videos that I watch. And today I'm bringing a new solo artist to the channel, although it's an artist I have had on the channel many times before, because it is Tim Foust of Home Free. I've been looking for a chance to get over to his solo content for a while, and I just thought, why not? That's all the logic I needed. And I'm bringing him to the channel with Come Go With Me, which was the 1956 recording, 1957 release by the Del-Vikings. It was on the LP Come Go With the Del-Vikings, which I rather enjoy. And of course, very famously also covered by the Beach Boys in the late 70s. And this is a song that has been in my awareness for as long as I can remember. I used to listen to things like this and Under the Boardwalk and songs like that, and those kind of really just bouncy, happy, infectiously joyous songs have always given me a great deal of calm and enjoyment, and so I'm really excited to see what Tim does with this. This is just over 2 years old, I believe, and was his first solo a cappella release on YouTube, so I'm excited to see what he's done with it, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I do need to take a moment, and I realize I've got this somewhere else. I wanted to say thank you to Kristen Dunstan, who was the first person who brought this to my attention. I've had a few requests for Tim stuff, but Kristen, some time ago, I think at least a little over a year ago, brought Tim's solo work to my attention, and I have been meaning to get to it, and I apologize it has taken me this long. There's a lot of stuff out there for me to cover, and I just need to get stuff in where I can. Hopefully by the end of the year I might be able to be in a position to be doing more than one video a week, we'll see. If not, sometime next year. But I think that's about all I have to say about this. There's not a crazy amount to go with this one, so I will say welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way I work is I watch from beginning to end of the video, and I comment and emote over the top of it, and I then go back and watch it a second time, this time pausing, interrupting, offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on what I've just seen and heard, and the foreknowledge of having seen it the one time before. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and if you would like to support the channel, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, at patreon.com/DavidKReacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube. Any of those very gratefully received, no pressure to do them. And I am still experiencing the internet issues that I've had the last couple of videos I've recorded. So if there are cuts in this video, it is either that YouTube has taken a few seconds to load. Doesn't matter for the reaction part, but for the analysis part it gets irritating. I took almost 2 minutes worth of gaps out of the last video that I did. They're all sort of 5 or 6 seconds long, but they pile up. Or it seems to be internet related that sometimes my headphones cut out too. So if there are cuts in the video that don't have text on the screen to accompany them, it's for one of those two reasons. And I apologize for them in advance. Maybe we're lucky and they don't happen, in which case I'll have cut this, but we shall see. I think that's everything. So without any further delay, here is Tim Foust singing the Del-Vikings' Come Go With Me.
Dum 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 de dooby dum 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 de dooby dum 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 dum.
I love the lighting.
Dum de dooby dum. Wow 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 wow. Dum 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 de dooby dum 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 de dooby dum 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 de dooby dum. Wow 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 wow.
This is awesome. I like it already.
Love me, darling. Come and go with me, and come go with me, way beyond the sea, 'cause I need you, darling. So come go with me. Yeah.
Very, very simple visual, but very effective.
Come into my heart and please tell me, darling, we will never part, 'cause I need you, darling. So come go with me. Wow, 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 wow. Yes, I need you. Yes, I really need you. Please say you'll never leave me.
He's sticking fairly tightly to the arrangement, but I like that. It's great, why mess with it?
Never give me a chance. Come into my
Yes,
heart and
Tim.
please tell me, darling, we will never part 'cause I need you, darling. So come go with me. Wow, 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 wow.
Nice. I like this. I don't know if he's boosted it slightly, but a little focus on the bass here. Oh, nice. That's a nice moment to have a real bass moment.
They say you'll never know, you really never. You never give me a chance. Come into my heart. Please tell me, darling, we will never part 'cause I need you, darling. So come go with me. Come go with me. Come go with me.
Yes.
Come go with me.
Oh.
Come go with me.
Lovely stuff, Tim.
Thank you so much for watching my music video for Come Go With Me, the lead single off a brand new all-me, all-acapella doo-wop album called Pieces of Me, Volume 1. If you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button and share this video on all your favorite forums of social media. Again, this is just one of 12
this is my way of
doo-wop
sharing, I
tracks that
guess.
is available on a new album, which you can find at timfoustmusic.com. And if you're interested in helping me make more of the music you like and getting some really cool exclusive perks in the process, check out my Patreon campaign. That's patreon.com/timfoustmusic. Thanks again.
Ah, that was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed that. Tim didn't mess with it too much, like a little bit of register drop at the end, but I would expect that coming from him. And I really enjoyed it. It's, I think for a first video out the gate, that was exceptional. I think it's a really good song for him. I love the fact that he's done an entire doo-wop album. It's a style of music I love, and I want to listen to more of it based on this. It's great. I did actually, and of course I haven't saved it, but I pulled up what I thought was quite interesting. There was a book called The Complete Book of Doo-Wop, co-authored by Gribin and Schiff, that identified 5 features of doo-wop music. It is vocal music made by groups. It features a wide range of vocal parts, usually from bass to falsetto. We heard all of that. It includes nonsense syllables, doo-wop being an example. There is a simple beat and low-key instrumentals, and it has simple words and music. And I think this song is such an amazing kind of exemplar of what doo-wop music should be, because it fits all of those things. Obviously here we had no instrumentals rather than low-key instrumentals. There is a saxophone solo in the original Del-Vikings version. I can't remember what the Beach Boys do. But you know, it very much takes a back seat unless it's being featured for a short moment. And I think that this is exactly what this song is. It's all of those things wrapped up into a perfect little package. And I really enjoy it. And I think Tim absolutely killed that. It's fantastic. It suits his voice really well. He has the range to do it. And I think, yeah, really, really good work. We're going to go back to the beginning of this. I'm not going to forget to bring the video back up. And we'll see what's what. I was looking around. We haven't had a Timmy visit for quite some time. He's since I've been recording during the summer, he's been outdoors a lot more, so he doesn't come down as much. And he just wandered down and came very close, but I think maybe heard a squirrel or something and bolted back up the stairs again. So maybe he'll be by later. Anyway, back to the top. Let's see what we can do with this.
Dum 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 de doo be dum 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 de doo be dum dum.
I like this. Very, very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. New panel on the screen. 2 bars. Bring in another Tim. Very, very simple, very, very effective. And it's interesting because a lot of people will, when you see this kind of video a lot of the time, and this is for groups, this is for, solo work, will either have everybody on the screen to begin with, a la some of the videos we've seen from Jeff recently, or will bring somebody in at the moment where they begin to join the arrangement. They'll pop up a new version of themselves or another singer, whatever it happens to be. It's interesting that Tim has chosen in this, and I really like it because it sets up the understanding of the different Tims and their lighting states and their shirts and all that sort of thing, that he's bringing them in even when they're not part of the arrangement yet. And I actually think that's really cool because this is an awesome little sort of tableau that we have here of a tableau of Tims is the collective noun for multiple Tim Fausts. My brain is out to lunch today. But I enjoy the fact that we're getting this introduction now, especially because we're going to be cycling through as we go through the video. I think it's a really smart move. Since we've stopped on this tableau, or these panels, whatever you want to call them, I really like what Tim has done with the lighting in this video. We have this very distinct color scheme for each version of him that we see throughout the video, and I think they're all beautifully lit. I do enjoy the fact that I always call the main melody singer in Jeff's videos Prime Jeff, so Prime Tim. We have this quite distinct, he has the jacket on, so he's got a distinct look in his clothing. We have the cyan light coming from his right, we have the magenta light coming from his left, so we have this nice kind of two-tone effect that's giving us some nice shading. The contouring of his face is being outlined by shadow as well as the light. And I think it's a really effective lighting choice for the Prime singer that we're sort of focusing on throughout all of this. We can see with the purple Tim, there's a warm light coming from his left, our right, but it's not that it doesn't take over. There's a small outline on the nose and the curve of the side of the face, where the magenta has kind of overtaken the cyan a little bit in the center frame. It doesn't do that quite so much there, and so I like that it's a little bit more subdued. A little more obvious with the Tim on our left. Obviously, the red and the warmth contrast with each other very strongly. I think the magenta light he's used for the other one is kind of in a similar intensity, whereas here the red is very, very intense. I like the fact that we've got that for bass Tim. Literally before we left this screen, before a word came out of bass Tim, I assumed that was going to be bass Tim. There's something about, I don't know if it's like the, come to the dark side. So I have no idea if it's pop culture just infusing my brain, but my brain went, oh, dark red bass. Who's to say? But I think that was actually a really smart idea. And I love that we have the simple changing of shirts. We're not changing the framing of this. The microphone is in almost exactly the same place every time. I don't know if he marked the floor or what have you, but he's centered himself very neatly. And it's just a simple change of a shirt, change of a lighting state, poof. Different Tim. Really, really nice. Interesting. So there what we have is we have three-part harmony there, I think, but we only see one Tim singing it. So magenta Tim is representing the harmony in the piece right now. And we obviously have bass. I apologize to bass Tim for the atrocious freeze frame we've got there, but there's the representation of the bass line. So we kind of have the three elements on screen right now: melody, I have to do this backwards. Melody, harmony, and bass line. And that's actually really nice. And they're all doing percussion because they're all either clapping or snapping. So that's represented throughout the whole thing. This is really, really smart production. And again, we have a cut on the beat. This time we cut to three Tims, one of whom we have seen before, and notice this time all three of them are in the same lighting state because they are all harmony Tim. This is our chorus in front of us right now. And so all the harmony is represented by this identical magenta lighting, and we have the lighting, and we have the change in the shirts that delineate which Tim we're looking at any, or the fact that there are different Tims singing different things. Very simple, very effective. The choice to do all of them in the same light was spot on, because it really reinforces that idea of melody, harmony, and bass. We are now looking at the harmony section, and they are definably so instantly, without even registering the change of clothes, because we're seeing the same lighting. Really good.
Dum 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 de dooby dum 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 de dooby dum 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 de dooby dum. Wow 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 wow. Well, love me.
I like the little acknowledgements. He did it to Harmony Tim in the first triptych, and this time we've got that little, just the acknowledgement to Bass Tim. They're nice touches, and in a video like this where we're not having a video like Jeff does where there's 4 of him interacting with each other in a space. We're getting definable frames that have a stark line down the middle of the screen to separate them. And they're still, we've seen this before. Peter Hollins does this with his squares around the thing, and he'll acknowledge different versions of himself. But in a video like this that is so simple, and I don't mean that as a bad thing, it is so simple. It is the little touches like that really elevate it just a little. We have a moment where Bass Tim gets a second and Prime Tim goes, yep, that's you. Lovely stuff.
Wow, 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 wow. Well, love me, darling. Come and go with me, and come go with me, way beyond the sea.
Now this is interesting. Do you notice the cuts have shifted ever so slightly? Now it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, cut, 2, 3, 4, cut, 2, 3, 4. Obviously every 2 bars. Now it's 1, 2, 3, cut. 1, 2, 3, cut. So we're getting the same amount of time on each different harmony Tim, but the cut is coming on the 4th beat, so we're getting a little bit of it's pushing us forward very slightly. It's adding a little pace to the visual construction of this piece, and I think that's actually a really cool decision. Very slight. I picked up on it while I was watching it the first time through, and I was like, that you feel that. It gives you a sense of something being different. It's nice. I like it.
Go with me, come go with me, way beyond the sea, 'cause I need you, darling, so come go with me, yeah, come.
Lovely tones he's using for the sort of the nonsense words, as they say, in the background. We've got this very clean sound that he's singing on the melody, and then this dum ba da. It almost sounds like there's a slightly breathy quality. Dum ba da, dum ba da. Just a little bit. I'm exaggerating it because I don't have the control over my voice that he does. And then the bass line is very much. It's kind of subdued. And what he's doing with those sounds is he's giving a little bit of extra space for the lyric and the enunciation to come through. And I really, really like that, because everything that he's doing right now is so clear. And I really, really appreciate that about this arrangement and this performance.
Go with me, yeah, come, 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 come into my heart and please tell me, darling, we will never part, 'cause I need you, darling, so come go with me.
Also notice that he's keeping his non-Prime versions. I'm so sorry, Prime Tim, I've caught you in a bad freeze frame now. He's keeping his other versions, like, yes, there's the click. We see the hand coming up. But Prime Tim is so much more expressive. We're getting the story from him. And so it's nice because he's able to pull us in with even just simple the turn away and the close of the eyes. It just gives us a little bit more emotion. And so we're being funneled into the emotion that Prime Tim is displaying. What's kind of cool about that, and again, this is not a good thing or a bad thing, it's just a variant and an observation of that, is that it means that everybody else is very uniform. There's not a lot of emotion coming. There's not a lot of motion coming. They're staying fairly still and just doing the percussion, and they're singing, and that's kind of it. And so rather than having points of interest all over the screen, which is a good thing in and of itself in some videos, for this one, as I say, we're being funneled into Prime Tim. I actually think for the way he's chosen to portray this, that's great. It gives us a slight sense of a greater intimacy that's coming from our lead vocalist, and I appreciate that. I think that's great.
You'll never part 'cause I need you, darling. So come go with me. Wow, wow, wow.
Oh, I love that. There's that little bit of cry at the end. Me. Just a subtle thing to just come off the note. Just gives us a little bit of extra something.
Need you, darling. So come go with me. Wow, 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 wow. Yes, I need you. Yes, I really need you. Please say you'll never leave me.
And that's nice. We get a little bit of "Don't you leave me, girl." There's head shaking going on. What do we not have on the screen while that's happening? Prime Tim. He's gone for a second. We get that.
Need you. Please say you'll never leave me.
Yeah, see, we have two harmonies and bass, and they have a little bit more motion for just a second. But it works within the boundary of what we've got here because we're not focusing on something right now. We don't have Prime Tim on screen, so if they move a little bit more, it's not going to pull us away from that central point. That's really smart.
They say you'll never know, you really never. Never give me a chance, but
Oh dear, I love that. The balance between the acknowledgement from both of them, of Prime Tim and Harmony Tim of what's happening, and Prime Tim just goes back and Harmony Tim is overcome. It's such a great choice. I love that moment. It's fantastic. Look at Bass Tim. He knows what he's done. Simple, effective.
you really never give me a chance, but come into my heart and please tell me, darling, we will never part 'cause I need you, darling, so come go with me. Wow, 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 wow.
So many tiny detail. The simple gesture. You don't even see his full hands. It's not a big it's just that gentle. You just see the fingers and the beckoning gesture. It's so small but so effective. And I love how when we shift into this, we go back in. We now have Prime Tim, who's going to be singing this descant line for us briefly. That brings in that falsetto that we were talking about. And the simple shift of notice how automatic. The clap, it's not, they're not doing this. There's no big gesture. It's just a slight percussive movement that gives us the sound that we need, and they're still not putting anything more into this than they need to fulfill their role. Lovely stuff. It's also interesting, I like how set back Descant Tim is, Prime Tim. I enjoy the fact that he's so far back in the arrangement because it kind of plays on that low-key instrumentals thing because he kind of is fulfilling that instrumental role right now. And it's not to the front, it's not massively flashy, it's just something that adds that break element to the song. And does it in a way that doesn't get in the way of anything else that's going on. We've still got this lovely harmony. We've still got this rhythm that's going on. And the rhythm is as much in the vocals as it is in the simple percussive claps. It's very, very effective. The choice to add crowd chatter into this as well is actually a really interesting one. I was thinking about that. It's cool because you really can imagine this being, what's the word? Like an incidental music performance at a wedding or something. Oh my goodness, can you imagine getting Tim to sing your wedding? That'd be amazing. But you can imagine this happening in the corner of a room in a party and everybody kind of registering it and thinking how cool this is. And but carrying on with their conversations. It's cool that he's kind of created a vibe by adding a sound effect in there that is not in the arrangement until we reach this point in the song. And I actually think that's a really interesting choice. I'd love to know his thought process behind precisely why he chose to do it that way, and I really enjoy the fact that he did. And notice we got our deepest notes, I think, from bass Tim right there, and he wasn't on screen at all. We get him on screen now because we want to focus on that a little bit, but we were still holding on descant Tim, and he didn't choose to replace a harmony Tim with bass Tim. And I actually really like that. I think it's kind of cool that that happens in the background, so that your ear is trained to expect it now a little, so it's not out of the blue when he suddenly hits these low notes, but we haven't drawn attention to it until it's really impressive. And I like that. That's cool. And then we get, oh, well, you. And boom, we focus purely on bass Tim for a moment. And it cuts back in for the melody, but he has his lead in, and we know that there's more to come. That's lovely.
Yes, I need you. Yes, I really need you. Please say you'll never leave me. They say you'll never. No, you really never. You never give me a chance, but...
And we get the even more, like, Tim fans at a concert, right? I love that bass Tim has upped the ante by going down. Prime Tim is enjoying it even more. Like, there was the knowing little smile of, I knew he was going to do that last time. Now he's really laughing about it. And Harmony Tim is passed out on the floor at this point. It's so good. So simple, but so good.
Oh, you really never. You never give me a chance, baby. Come into my heart. Please tell me, darling, we will never part. 'Cause I need you, darling, so come go with me.
It's so effortless. I need you, darling. It sounds. The way that he's singing it feels like he's putting no effort in at all. I'm sure he is. Not that I'm saying this is difficult for him to sing, but I'm sure he's doing a lot to make sure it sounds the way he wants it to. But he just makes it sound so easy, and I love that. He's really, really good. This is why I say this is so good for him. This whole style just feels so natural coming from Tim, and I really appreciate that, because it really adds to the enjoyment of it when a singer is in their comfort zone.
I need you, darling, so come go with me. Come go with me. Come go with me. Come go with me.
And I enjoy the fact that the whole way through this sequence at the end here, on every 4, Harmony Tim switches, so we're seeing the full rotation the whole way through the outro. Which is great. Why wouldn't you? We're seeing everybody who performs in the song, and he hasn't done it by creating 5 frames and having 3 of them be the same. And I think that's part of it, is because he has made them the same person, in the sense that they all react the same way in the same moment. Having 3 of them on screen would be redundant. And I think it was a perfect choice to have this rotation in place instead. I just think it's such a smart decision, and it's given him the freedom to create these 3 characters, even though one of them is being played by 3 different versions of himself. Lovely stuff.
Come go with me. Come go with me.
Now I think, and I can't be sure because it could be post-production in the fade-out, but I think there's also a very slight diminuendo, like a getting quieter throughout Tim's note there. I don't think that's entirely post-production, because I think he's getting quieter faster than the other 2. And I would imagine that the majority of this fade is a master fade. That is to say, you've combined all the tracks down into one for the final mix, and then you make final tweaks to it, and that track would have the fade-out applied to it. That would be the logic I would probably use for this. Maybe it's not. Maybe all of the tracks faded out independently. But I think it would have been a master fade. So I think you'll notice that mi fades out just a little bit faster than what's going on around it. And I think that means, therefore, he was doing this beautiful, controlled diminuendo in his voice throughout the length of that note.
Come go with me.
I really like that one in Say, Come Go With Me. Those runs down the scale from the fifth to the tonic. Really, really nice touch there. It's just a tiny little embellishment, and I think that's what's so nice about this. The very subtle changes and embellishments he's thrown in are so mild, that they don't feel at all. It feels like he's doing. I could even be wrong. These might be in the original. I'd have to listen back to it now, and you know, I have this version in my head currently, and spot if there's anything there where I'm going like, oh yeah, that was here, and I just hadn't noticed it before. And one of the things I love about covers, where people are a little more true to the original, is sometimes you do still hear something you weren't aware was there before, because you're used to listening to the original in a certain way, and you hear something somebody else does, and you're like, oh, that was brought out a little bit more. Oh, that's there. I don't know if that's the case here or not. I'll put a note here if it is or if it isn't. But I do love what he's doing, and I do love that his embellishments fit his arrangements so beautifully.
Come go with me. Come go with me.
Lovely stuff. I don't normally like a fade-out ending. I actually think the way he did that was very effective. But you see what I mean? When he comes, come go with me, the me sounds about the same volume at the start of that note as it was at the end of the previous one. Whereas everybody else has been very steadily getting quieter. And that's what makes me think that maybe he did that. And it's a lovely control if he did, because it's so slight, but very, very effective. Regardless of how it was done, it sounds beautiful. That's fantastic! Well played, Tim. I realise I didn't check the description for any details. My first solo a cappella music video and the first single from a doo-wop album. Yep, we know that. Filmed and edited by Josh Adams, Touring Media Group. Great job, Josh. Really, really liked the editing in this. Did you know you can bring Tim Foust and friends to your backyard, literally? Okay! He's even sneakily advertising that fact in this, right? Where you have the crowd sounds there. I was just saying you could feel like he could be in to one side. I'm sure what he's saying there is more of a backyard concert thing, but that idea of coming to a private space and having a performance go on as part of a party is kind of a little bit foreshadowed there. That's cute. That was fantastic. I really, really like that. What a great song for Tim. What a great style for Tim. I'm excited to hear more songs from this album. I notice also it's Pieces of Me Volume 1. Does that mean there's a Volume 2? Maybe there is. But this was just fantastic. It's so light, so joyous and delightful, and he killed it. Absolutely killed it. Really good work, Tim. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for sharing this with us. That's going to be it for this week. I'm glad I got this video in because, as I mentioned in my last week's video, I'm away right now. I'm in Edinburgh for the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. So I'm glad I managed to sneak in a recording before I went. I hope I will also be able to get something out for next week. Again, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to make it happen. I arrive back very late on the Thursday night. So whether I'll be able to get something together for Friday is hard to say. So if I miss a week, I sincerely apologize. But thank you to those who are here with me now, especially if you're here with me at the end of this video. I really appreciate the time that you spend watching my content. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope I was able to bring something to you, whether it was the song, whether it was Tim himself. Do check these things out. There are links to both the original of this. Why do I never say this at the beginning of the videos? I need a script up. There's a link to the original video down below in the description, as well as to Tim's channel. Do go and check those out. Or maybe you know this arrangement back to front, and something I said made you go, oh, that's cool. I'd never noticed that before. That's maybe why I like this bit so much, whatever it is. If I've managed any of those things, I will be very happy, because that's kind of what I hope to achieve with these videos. So, yeah, that was great. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you would like to support my channel, please do head over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, where you can leave a one-off donation of your choice, or to patreon.com/DavidKReacts. I have 2 channels of, I think it's 2 and 4 Canadian dollars, which are just there to help support me in a longer form if you would like to do that. There's not much to it right now other than it gets you access to my Discord. I'm hoping end of the year, maybe beginning of next year, to be able to put a little more content onto that. Just it's not possible for me right now, unfortunately. Or you can leave a super thanks here on YouTube, and any of those would be gratefully appreciated. Thank you again for watching this. I really, really appreciate it. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your night, day, evening, morning, mid-afternoon, you know, high tea. I don't know. Let's go for 1:32 p.m. Don't know if anybody will be watching then. If you haven't seen my channel before, I just guess random times at the end of videos and see if anybody's watching then. But thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.